fight it a little differently when you go down? Is there anything different you do during the first road day?
No, I mean the difference is that it's just us, you know, and that's kind of a neat thing to get everybody, everyone in the organization along. You know, there's no other distractions, but really the procedure's the same. Other than taking a bus to the hotel from here, we take a bus plane and another bus before we get to the hotel.
What's the gist of Jamal's message to the team?
Oh, he just talked to them about, I think, how fortunate they are to be playing college football and how special college football is. He's a, as you know, a very sharp, bright kid. Not a kid.
Sometimes that gets your attention. Makes a former player.
Yeah. That's where they want to get to.
We were talking about the offensive line and what needs to get done, more consistent running. Is it just assignments and stuff like that, and trying to get to the second level for some guys?
Not so much assignments, Brian, as much as technique within the assignment. You know, carrying out the technique to its completion, those kind of things. There are a few assignment errors, yeah, I'm not going to say there's none. The gap between knowing and doing sometimes is the hardest gap to close.
Where, in general terms, do you see, everybody talks about the biggest improvement from game 1 to game 2, where do you expect to see it? Or where do you generally see it? Is it precision? Is it execution? Is
Yeah,
it
I think
consistency?
execution and precision. The precision in your execution gets a little better. It's not going to be perfect, but I think no matter how much you do it against each other, when you do it against another team and something goes wrong, it grabs your attention in a different way, I think. And then you go back out and work at it, and it's just a different level.
Well, Greg, I see that FIU also runs a 3-4. Is it similar to what Norfolk State did, or are they doing something completely different?
I don't know if they run a 3-4. You know, that's obviously what they put off on their depth chart.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if that's a ploy to make us prepare for the 3-4. I mean, we're preparing for everything, so whatever they show up with, that's what we're going to do.
Greg, the effectiveness of your third down defense last week, how do you make sure that continues?
Well, you know, we've been effective in third down defense for a while, not just last week. So hopefully what we do gives us an opportunity to do that, and our kids understand how important third down is. But you know, third down is living on the edge. There's a couple plays there that we're an inch away from going. You know, so you live on it. If you can stay on the right side of that edge more times than not, you're going to be doing all right.
Greg, with Cordell back, how does that change the running back rotation? Because I know you used Joe a lot in third down the other day. Does it change it much?
I think what it does, it gives Joe more rest if Cordell goes. You know, on third down, it gives Joe another, you know, maybe about 10 to a dozen plays less that he's got to play. So let's see how Cordell does, and then we'll make a decision how that affects Joe's workload.
When do you expect to make the decision on Cordell, if he can go or not?
I want to watch the tape again today. I mean, in my mind, as long as he's doing what he's supposed to, there is no decision. There's a reason he's our guy. So let me just make sure that it's coming and that he's okay. You know, he had a little break there. How's he feel physically? You know, I don't want him going into the game tired. So maybe he gets some, but not all. Who knows?
You talked about guys making strides from week 1 to week 2.
He looked good yesterday, though. Remember, I said I would watch it and tell you he did look good.
You talked about guys making strides from week 1 to week 2. Jordan Thomas, what do you expect to see out of him? I mean, he has the first game under his belt.
Just to slow everything down. You know, his footwork, in reference to Tom's question, technique stuff, you know, precision in your technique. You know, nobody, unless you're a coach, knows that the first 2 steps are what make the run. And everybody thinks it's shaking and baking, and the first 2 steps give the play a chance to time up and fit effectively. But if you're nervous and you're excited and you know you're the road runner, then you make yardage despite not doing it right. You know, so hopefully he can slow it all down and get his footwork perfect. And because when he does that, I mean, he's got it now, no doubt. He can rip it.
That first pass,
2 more questions.
Flat. How close was he to making it a really big run?
Big, yeah, real close, like one ankle tackle away.
Yeah.
And the one that he stepped out of bounds, he was a step out of bounds for being a touchdown. I mean, there was nobody catching him. There's not a lot of guys that don't catch him, period, once he gets going, which is nice.
So, and then he dropped one, Greg. Didn't he have the one out the back?
Yeah, you can't run with the ones you drop. Yeah,
that was about 50 yards.
Oh, that could have been a big play. But again, you're ahead of yourself. Right? I'm running before I have the ball. Which, seniors do that, but I think when you're a freshman, Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.